One who is running a car has to be very careful. Running a country has become how our parliaments are. If you just type on Google parliament fights, you would see from dozens of countries what kind of our lawmakers are, how they are quarreling. It's just you'll get hundreds of images.
Hi, welcome to KC Talks. India is the world's largest democratic nation. We are nearing 150 crore population. We need to be extremely responsible in choosing our leaders. Are we really doing that? Let us understand this from Dr. Sadeh Swami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
150 crore Indian population. So many political stunts. There's a lot of political drama. People call it democratic farce. What is your take on this, Swamiji?
One of our founder actually once quipped democracy as demon crazy in modern context.
Okay.
So the concept is what we are seeing as of today. There is somewhere floor test is going on. In our neighboring country, there is total chaos. And somewhere in a southern state now, is to be specifically in Karnataka, 90 cabinet positions have been given out just to pacify all the MLAs. 90 cabinet positions. It's there in the news today. Point is, where are we heading in the name of so-called democracy?
Yes.
They said if votes really changed something, they would have outlawed or made the votes illegal long time back.
Definitely.
So in the name of democracy, actually power have been taken out from the hands of the masses. So this whole idea needs a revisit.
Yes.
We are just caught up day in and day out in elections, their results and political squabbles, fightings, infightings, and parties switching over, MLA, horse trading. MLAs are being taken to resorts in the other states. That's all we are. We are not bothered about real problems of, civilizational issues.
Yes.
We are just, so this has become, okay, so we had a problem with monarchy, but there was one person to exploit. Today, we have created so many people who are exploiting us, right from peon in the government office. It's a very top-heavy program today,
Yeah.
And every single day you come out with, so many scandals.
Yes.
And what's happening in the neighboring country, The elections, nobody even knows who is a winner, who is a loser there.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is actually needs we need to really reconsider the so-called our political system, whether there is really masses are empowered to elect somebody.
In the constitutional democracy like us, we say for the people, by the people, to the people. But we all vote. Are we really, is justice coming to us?
Yeah, you see, when we talk of voting for somebody, point is, I have a question that if I ask the people here in this, let's say in room, 5 people or let's say 50 people in this campus today, to vote for you as a doctor, would you become a doctor?
No, I wouldn't. It comes by qualification.
Now, if I ask them, let's say this block, people of this block, 50,000 people to vote you as a lawyer, would you become a lawyer? Just
no.
So, you cannot create lawyers, engineers, doctors simply by stamping votes.
No, we can't.
So, by voting, you cannot create administrators. Administration is a job.
For that we have IAS and we have administration services.
So IAS and all, they follow what the polity decides.
Yeah, policy makers can't be elected like that.
So policy makers have to be trained.
Yes.
Achha, just like do you drive a car or a scooty, or what do you drive?
Car.
Do you have a license for that?
I do have.
And suppose your friend has a scooty, does he need a license?
For scooty, he needs a license. Yes.
Acha. And what happens if he drives his scooty without license?
He will be penalized.
Now my point is, you can't drive a scooty without license, but you can't run a small two-wheeler, but you can run a country without license or training.
It's a joke.
You can run, actually, So now my another question is, any job in the world, does it require qualification?
Prerequisites are there
For even a peon or a sweeper?
Definitely, yes.
They ask for SSC or whatever, class 10 certificate. But there are jobs which require, running a country requires no qualification anywhere in the world. You can become a chief minister, a prime minister, a president, a senator, a MLA, MLC, MP without any qualification.
Yes.
So that is the whole problem.
Swamiji, I understood. So for the last few minutes that you are trying to tell us that there is a big flaw in this system. It's logical. Even a person who passed his 10th, you can probably tell this to a 7th class girl and she will say, yes, he makes sense. How does this that makes sense to a layman became true and we are following such a system? So why, how, from where is this origin of democracy coming from? I read a long time back, Plato said, I don't see democracy as a logical system because the equality of a vote of an educated person and a realized person is equal to the vote of a lazy person or an irresponsible person. They both are equal. But then why did we choose it? Where is its origin? And if it has such a big flaw, so what are you supposed to do?
Well, because you see how it originated, because your monarchs became irresponsible.
Yes.
Then one day, every country now, the number of democracies have increased over the decades, from 25 to almost 150 democracies today. Because these monarchs, they only knew how to exploit. They degraded. There is something called, there was concept of trained monarchs, trained rulers. Just like in case of India, Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanta Gurur Hitam. Any prince at the age of 5 will be sent to Gurukulam for training. So all princes actually went, and they were rigidly trained. They have to sleep on the floor. They have to obey they have to learn all the arts, the admin, how, and the character building. They have to go begging. Those even in case of Lord Krishna, he was a Yadu prince from Yadu dynasty. He was sent for bringing firewood, and they got stuck in forest as a kids. He and his friend, and the teacher had to rescue them in middle of rains. So the idea was to build character and train them in the concept of running an administration.
Yes.
And then they were appointed as kings. So that makes a difference. When the whole problem is our drivers of our nations, they don't know how to drive. Like your car, you have a driver and he doesn't know. That's very big problem. So this is the whole problem, and now we should have, as you said, it's very valid point that people who are selecting, do they know how to select?
Yes. We'll go to this point later. Now my question is, you said we were fed up with this nonsense monarchical leaders. So for time being, let us understand the contemporary situation. Leave Kim aside, North Korea,
Uh-huh.
we technically don't know whether the people there are happy or not, because there is no survey done. Okay, for a sake of global media, global audience, let us understand people they are not happy. We select these monarchical countries, probably king governing countries like Brunei, like all the Middle Eastern countries where there is Sheikh King, are the people there happy? Are people in a democratic nation happy? I'm just asking you a question.
Well, I think will depend, and we have to objectively see, not by Western propaganda.
Yes.
So the West has actually habit
Mm.
of imposing
Mm.
what they think is right.
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
So they think they know, and nobody else knows.
Yes.
So who is good or bad? I mean, it's unless you go there and live, because the propaganda is very, very different.
Mm.
What propaganda is about India, you see the Western press, how they cover,
Mm.
is very different from the reality.
Mm.
So, ruler, whether in a democratic setup or an autocratic setup, if they are not trained up, people actually cannot be happy.
No, but
That's
I
a
see,
bottom line.
Definitely, as a principle, it is true. But I see that, the kind of, the Arabs, the people are definitely happy under their kings,
Well,
sultans.
Yes, actually, they avoid a lot of drama, so called chaos, money. And okay, he may be making money, but one person is making money, or his family. Here you have 300 million, 3 million families. You got even a peon is making money, even a chaprasi, nobody listens to anybody, and everybody is day and night fight. For example, China.
Mm.
I mean, they have elected that leader for life. Now, point is, without getting into any such thing, point is what to do. At least they may be avoiding a lot of this. My whole point is, there should be seriousness. This is a responsible job. Let us not make a joke out of it. Running a country is a responsible work. Let us not make a joke. Driving a car driver has to be, one who is running a car has to be very careful. Running a country has become how our parliaments are. If you just type on Google parliament fights, you would see from dozens of countries what kind of our lawmakers are, how they are quarreling. It's just you'll get hundreds of images. They are like
maturity. Yeah, it has become worse than a classroom. Swamiji, my fundamental doubt here is for the people in the constitution. It is for me, right? This country is for me. I'm part of this country.
Yes.
I'm not getting good air to breathe. The air quality index of my city has dropped. I'm getting asthma. I'm getting, all the health disorders drinking this water. Now, who is solving my issue? Whom do I go to get this solved?
Because these issues are created by you. There is a fundamental problem here. What we think of as a political issue, actually they are civilizational issue. And that cannot be solved by the politicians. They are issues created by you and the way you live, I live, and everybody lives. For example, air quality, as you said. This is the issue of urbanized living. This is an issue of dependence on fossil fuels. This is an issue how comfortable you like your life to be so-called comfortable. Now, what the leadership can do about it?
No, but at least policymakers should identify that, okay, we are running towards a dead end and we need to do some U-turn. That is where I have elected. I am not intelligent. I am elected a policymaker for this.
Yeah, the policymaker then has to, the lifestyle has to change. There is a need to relocate, deurbanization, deindustrialization.
Yes.
So there is a need. You can solve your air pollution only by two things: deurbanization and deindustrialization. that you have to decongest your. It's not natural. 20 million people or 30 million people piling up in a 100 square kilometers. That's not
Definitely is.
natural.
So that's what I am coming to this, that the policy makers, it's a responsible job. We've elected them.
Now,
they should foresee a problem, try to act
see,
accordingly.
their problem is how to get re-elected
Yes.
and how to face the opposition.
Hmm.
So they are caught up in day-to-day issues. They are too caught up in their day-to-day issue to actually try to get to your real problems. So
It's a joke, no, Swamiji. So a pune has a survival problem. I have a survival problem.
And they have
they have a survival. Then
problem.
who is the problem solver here?
That is why nobody has time and energy to even talk of solving. You leave aside. At least you talk. Who is talking of you? Today's newspaper you pick up. Today's channel. There are 100 channels giving news. And there are 1,000 newspapers today in the country of this India. Not one term you will find soil degeneration. Not one line how we can have our food system free of dangerous pesticides and chemicals. Not one discussion about this actresses, about this Kardashian keeping up with. There are thousands of articles. So our society is caught up in non-essentials. Frivolous, this is the word. We have become frivolous. Not only we. And I will elect. Now you collect all the dogs of this block, this street, and you make an election. Whom do they elect? If you stand, I stand, and that one dog stands. Who all the dogs? Point is, they will elect. I am electing who I am actually. That is why the criminal mindset. 70% of practically our lawmakers have criminal antecedents attached to their.
Yes.
They have or 40, 45 something are like convicted criminals.
Oh.
So this is a criminalization of politics that we would be very concerned. So people have to become serious, the whole system, and that is why if in education system we teach about Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, Bhagavata, people will understand what administration means, what these ideal characters, how they were running this country, like how father manages children, And there was a loving a ruler was a father to the people actually. That is how the ruling was there. And when let's say when Vena's father he left, people, the citizens went searching for him, like the example is given like an ascetic searches for super soul. So that was the ruler, that was the rule. And what is happening in today's, it's very, it's just
it's a chaotic situation.
Chaotic, that's a word. It's total chaos. So that is why we should the whole system needs to be revisited actually.
So you're telling at a collective level and a public, some conscience should awaken and they have today. But the problem here with the masses is they are alluring the masses by freebies. We elect politicians not on solving our problems. What is it that they are giving as a freebies?
Yeah, it's just like
free bus travel.
Yeah. So point is, you see, the child needs to go to school. Definitely child doesn't like. And you just give child chocolate. That will ruin child's health. That will ruin child's uneducated child. So it's a very short term. Now can you imagine the dumbing down of how the masses is happening? Not one person is asking, sir, you are giving us freebie. Where are you getting your freebie from?
Yeah.
Not one person is asking.
Yes.
Are you getting from your home, or you're from ancestral inheritance, or your own earned money? How are you giving us freebie? A free travel or free electricity? How you? You are taking from our one pocket and putting into another pocket.
Yes.
You are not bringing from your own home. Not one person is asking. It's like a sheep, election meeting of sheep was there. So the leader said, if you guys elect me,
Hmm.
I'm going to give you all a free blanket.
Hmm.
Everybody, yeah, let's vote for this guy. Then one sheep asked somehow back in the back of the meeting,
Hmm.
excuse me, sir, I have a question. Yes. Where would you be getting your blanket from?
Hmm.
You'll be sharing us only.
Yes.
From our wool only you are going to give us back as blankets.
Of course, yes.
So this much brain is not there to ask where are these freebies will come from. They will tax in another way. That's all.
Educational system of India is growing. Many people in India, educational statistics of education, literacy rate is increasing. But still, why people are not able to understand this logic?
It's a stupor. It's like somebody is drunk. It's a stupor. You morning open, you see some media, you see some. Point is, you got to have some time to think.
Hmm.
Like some Mark Twain or somebody said, I think once in every 14 days, and I am the biggest thinker in America.
Okay.
People don't have time to think.
Hmm.
It's just like, you go to railway station, at least peaceful time. There also TV is blaring. TV is cinema is going. Arre Baba. Human life is meant for thinking, for some philosophical introspection. But people are just too caught up morning till night. They are running like that. Is why they're like machines or robots. There is no faculty. It's just like I would say like what you call animalization of humanity.
Hmm.
Just do morning till night. So definitely we should think what's going on and what can be done about it and what is the way forward and what is this freebie that you got to fall for. Nothing is free in life. Like the king, shall I tell you a small incident?
Yes.
There was a king, one fine day he thought he should know something in life.
Hmm.
Good knowledge. So he asked those guys, get me the best books, of the world.
Hmm.
So they went all over the, different nations, they selected. So they selected, then they piled up after a year, 100 books in front of. These are the best. He said, Bare Baba, I can't read so much. Just give me, make it shorter. So they selected 10 books. He said, no, get me one. Make it more concise. I don't have time for 10. So they selected one book. So this is the best thing you can learn. Then they came down to, I said, even one book, I don't read books. So they gave one chapter, sir. They tore off one chapter and said, this much you read. Said, no, make it shorter. One chapter, who has got time? They gave one page. Then finally one para. Then he said, I can't even read a para. So concise it further. Shorten it further. They gave one line. And that line was, there are no free lunches. That
Okay.
means don't expect anything in free. There are no shortcuts in life. For life, it doesn't work. You got to work for what you want in life.
Hmm.
Whatever you think free is actually going to cost you more.
Hmm.
Just like people get received, you have been awarded there is a free the scams,
Yeah.
cyber scams.
Yeah.
People are losing in while going for those free things. Nothing in life is free. You got to work for everything.
Hmm.
So that has to be told that actually what nothing is free in life. Life is you got to work for it.
Very good analogy, Swamiji, about this kings and one line, nothing free. How do we ignite this? among the masses, collective consciousness. Because what happens in the school, anyhow, we don't read about religion. Anyhow, we are not concerned about moral ethics and values. We read science, physics, some chemistry, some mathematics. We don't even know our constitution. Technically, in any
No.
civilized society, they don't know the laws with which they are governed. That only comes when you are in a problem. So, how do we ignite this collective conscious among the people? Because things are very chaotic now, I'm telling you.
You see, people have to be told what actually the standard is. And I see as no shortcut other than they have to read about, they have to be told about that what actually administrator, what were like our administration was like. For example, if you just open Mahabharat or Bhagavata, you find this narration. Basically, all our scriptures are narrations of pious kings. That's what all our scriptures are.
Not ruthless monarchical kings.
Though they are there as a contrast, that
Okay.
they are also there, but to show what there are examples what we should follow, and there are examples we should not follow. Like King Vena, King Duryodhana, they are all there also. So Chandra Vamsha and Surya Vamsha, all our India was ruled by two dynasties coming from sun god and moon god.
Yes.
Lord Rama was in Surya Vamsha, and Krishna was, Yadu Vamsha was in
Chandra Vamsha.
Chandra Vamsha. Now king was so responsible that that even a child dies before father. It was king, something he must have done impious activity. Like in Dwaraka, Brahmin, a newly born child dies. So now he comes in front of palace with child's body and he holds the king responsible. That was the level of responsibility expected out of the kings. And they were actually the kings. If there is a drought, king must have done something impious. The kind of, when you read all this, when you propagate, when you see actually, and how much, like King Sivi, for example, how much, a bird came, but dove was being chased by an eagle, and somehow dove landed on his lap. Then the eagle said, "Okay, sir, this fellow is my food." He said, "No, he has come to my shelter." Now he was ready to, he started chopping his meat from his body. He was chopping up body to give meat equal to the dove's weight, to the pigeon's weight. Now that kind of principles, our history is filled with that level of that.
But do you know what is the modern world thinks about this? Emotional drama.
So you see, you may think as an emotional drama, but life is about principles. And today what drama we have is a free for all drama. It's a free for all. People are raping anybody, people are killing anybody, people are burning anybody.
All white collar crimes.
Not white collar, black collar, green, blue, all color crimes are going on. So there is main problem is, as our founder Srila Prabhupada, people don't have any standard to compare with. They don't know. I tell you, for example, why go so back if people think they're emotional drama. One of our friend here, he was in he had 1968, he had some issue at home. He's a retired industrialist and scientist. He left for Kathmandu 1967. He told me that he rented a shop. At night he was looking like, they said, don't lock it. Shops are not locked there. It's an insult to the king. You don't trust the king.
In Kathmandu, is it?
That's what he told me.
1967.
67, 68. That is, it's a crime. If you lock, you'll be arrested. That's an insult. Just I said, then I asked him, what do you do? He is a well-known scientist and industrialist.
Hmm.
He said, I used to just lock my and walk away. Nobody would steal. And if you caught stealing, you are in for a, they may chop your hands off.
Death penalty.
That was a very serious crime,
Capital
stealing
punishments.
in that kingdom. And even Prabhupada told in Kashmir also, they would chop hands off people. If you caught thieving, your hand will be chopped off.
So how do we correct the society at the base level in their moral ethics and values? Because you finally told it is we who elect wrong leaders.
You see, whenever you come to, you talk about, you are asking how this problem. You see, before you try to solve any problem, you got to first know there is a problem. First step. You got to know. Sometime it becomes a new normal,
Yeah.
Somebody is living with crippled or with pain, he thinks it's normal.
Yeah.
So first you got to know there is a problem. Okay, first step.
Yeah.
Second step, you got to think, I should do something about it. That's the second step. Okay, there is a problem, but I am fine with it, then nothing can happen. Second step, you got to, I should do something about it. Then comes the third step, how to go about it. How to go about solving this problem. So there has to be system is what's happening. There is a problem. This so-called MLAs, resort politics and so much they've chartered flights and there is a problem. And then, we got to do something about it. But people are not, I don't think anybody sees it as a problem even.
No, eventually now some intelligentsia is seeing this all as a problem. But maybe the masses, if you categorize among the ratio, maybe the masses and the people with less intelligence may they not, but all the educated, civilized people, they all see it as a problem, but they don't know what to do.
Yes, another solution would be enlightenment, education of the masses.
Actually, Swamiji, to be very honest, the poorer are the one who decide these leaders.
Yes,
because see, in any
based
country,
on caste consideration,
economical considerations.
So point is they got to know what is good for them. You see, today election, I am telling you, at least in southern states, I have seen with my own eyes how on the in the election eve, they are going door to door with chicken and a bottle of wine. Can you imagine? People are ready to sell themselves and their country. I have seen with my own eye, and there are news items.
2000%, Swamiji. One vote is sold at 10,000 rupees in the costliest election. There is a vote that is sold for ₹1,00,000 in some constituency.
I have seen the news article. I have seen with my own eyes. A live chicken is given and a wine bottle is given.
That is at least based now. They're distributing notes.
So definitely, this is not democracy. Although it is a holy cow, you are not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah.
But this is not democracy. This is fooling public. And you are fooling yourself, you are fooling others, everybody is fooling everybody else.
Fool's paradise.
Yeah, it becomes a fool's paradise basically.
Yeah. So, how do we conclude? Do we conclude saying so that we can't rectify this?
No, there is never a hopeless situation. There are some discussion on polity reform, on election reforms. Some discussions are going on. But I feel that education, it should be part of curriculum.
Yeah.
You see, for example, how to cook food, how to grow food, it should be taught in curriculum. How to elect your leader,
it should be
why
taught.
not there should be a subject?
So definitely there has to be.
That will decide your fate, your country's fate. So there should be an subject. Elections, electing a leader, and what a leader should ideally have. Nobody is perfect, but there should be some example what a leader should look like,
Hmm.
what a leader should have in himself or herself. That should be part of the curriculum
Yeah.
from an early age. What is ideal? What is, ideal? You see, for example, Japan.
Hmm.
They teach children, Japanese schools, ch- these daily chores.
Hmm.
Today, one section will clean all the
Yes,
toilets.
yes, yes. I've heard of
Today,
it.
another bunch of kids will cook
Cook, yeah.
and serve. Point is, everything. Otherwise, what kind of generation we are creating?
Yeah.
So I feel that that is the way, you can bring about changes. Fundamental changes are
Hmm.
brought at a very grassroots level when, from educational system.
Hmm.
So this should be, and then you can. It's turning ship is not easy, but
Hmm.
it's possible.
Yeah. Got
At
it.
least if we can have a change over in next few years, over a generation, it's worth it. It's
Definitely,
good.
yes, Swamiji. Because in the last decade, I've seen people have realized their importance of vote.
Hmm.
So majority of the people are coming casting their vote.
Yeah, it is. All glories to social media. Its information is traveling,
Hmm.
and it is not as easier as it was
It
to
was in the
fool the public.
yes,
There is
definitely
that
yes.
though there is electoral interference,
Hmm.
and different countries try to use social media to influence the voters, but still there is some
So like how
awareness.
some drastic shift has happened that people are casting vote at least in the youth. I'm seeing youth standing at the vote boothing polls now. So
Hmm.
like that, I also feel that maybe people like you and intelligentsia of India should educate people.
Yeah,
Casting vote is one thing. How to elect a leader should be
right.
a
Now
subject.
there should be, that is very important, that anybody who likes to be elected,
Hmm.
he is going to basically run a state or a country or a city. At
Yes.
least there should be training programs for them,
Hmm.
how to run a, like you have to have a license for running scooty, for
Hmm.
driving a scooty, for driving a nation or a state. You got to have qualification.
Hmm.
So you want to stand for election, you have to see what administration you know. Do you
Hmm.
know what is administration? You will be surprised. Among our lawmakers, there are illiterates.
Yeah.
They don't know how to sign.
Hmm.
So there should be, like any job, there are requisite qualification.
Hmm.
So there should be qualification. They should undergo a training. Then come for election. That
Hmm.
you know what it means, how to admin, what are the fundamentals of managing, a nation, or what are, do you know the basic concepts, and do you know the requirement of character and how character and leadership go together?
Hmm.
Character formation and leadership development, they go hand in hand.
Yes.
So there should be character training for our rulers.
Hmm.
If you yourself, the king himself is characterless, how you expect masses to have any character?
Yes. Agreed.
So there,
Rather, a person with a good character should have that should be a prerequisite.
so you got, for your bureaucrats, you got your training program, all right.
Yes.
You have your police academies.
Yes.
You have got your staff administrative colleges. You have
Yeah.
got that, all right. Why not for your so-called these
Politicians should have this.
politicians, MLAs, MPs, and senators? And why not?
Definitely, we should have.
They should come. They should attend those orientation programs. They should pass out.
Yes.
Then only they are allowed to hold positions of public office.
Definitely true.
And then, if you can do that, then you don't have so many issues at hand.
Hmm.
Just somebody's got some money to spend, and when you election spend money, there's a big money on campaigning and so many things. Then
Yes.
you think of recovering 10 times back.
Definitely, yeah.
And how do you have clean system?
Hmm.
So there should be what you call training programs for that. That is what most responsible job. And you got to deliver. There should be assessment. How there should be no, you got elected, you can be de-elected also if you behave like a nonsense person in parliament,
Yeah. No, trainings for
a
you
small
know.
company. If everybody whole day argues and fights, can you run a small
No,
business?
no, we can't. We can't
How
run a
can you
house.
how can you run and after electing, getting salary, getting staff, getting houses, they don't even attend parliament sometimes or assemblies. There should be assessment. Okay, you got elected, but you'll be de-elected if you don't perform.
Yeah.
Where is the answerability?
Yes. So definitely there should be trainings for this elected leaders, but there should also be trainings for the common man.
Yes.
And education should be given that he should not accept freebies. He should not accept alcohol or money or anything. He should not sell his vote
because you are selling your future.
Yes.
For a bottle of wine, you are selling your future of your children for a bottle of wine.
Yes, it's a grave situation. They have to be told you have been given such a grave responsibility of choosing your future.
You decide actually not country's fate with your vote. You are deciding your own fate.
Yes, it's a very, very beautiful insight that you have told. He's deciding his future generation's fate.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your beautiful insights, Swamiji. We'll keep doing more on a social paradigm, more such issues. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.